Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to week 2 of the OWLS Magical Readathon. I'm going to be vlogging all of this week as I did with last week, and it's actually really weird for me because I've literally just finished filming the wrap up for last week's vlog and now I'm filming the introduction for this week's vlog. It seems weird to me because I'm still not used to any of this. I'm not used to YouTubering. Is that a word? It's not a word, Claire, shut up. But I'm just not used to this, so it seems a little strange for me. So right now I have some time to myself. I'm going to make a start on reading. I do want to give myself a little break before I go straight into my next novel because I have just finished one novel. And so for that break, I think I am going to read Hansel and Gretel by Neil Gaiman and Lorenzo Mattotti. Mattotti? I don't know. But this is not actually on my original OWLS TBR. I'm going to put it down because it's going out of shot anyway. It's a big book. This is not on my original OWLS TBR, but it can count for the History of Magic prompt where we are learning about the witch trials. And for the witch trials, we have to read a book which includes witches or wizards. This is Hansel and Gretel. There is a witch in the original story, so I can only assume there is going to be a witch in this story. If not, I'm going to feel quite cheated. This is a short story and it is illustrated. I'm just trying to find some illustrations that won't spoil anything for me or for you. They're all quite sort of dark, black and white, quite eerie, creepy illustrations. Which I think will suit Neil Gaiman's writing style perfectly. I'm a massive Neil Gaiman fan, so I'm going to be surprised if I don't enjoy this. I'm also going to be surprised if it takes me longer than an hour even to read this because it is tiny. This is also a library book. I got this out of the library right before all of the libraries shut down. I went to the library, even though I have a whole bookcase full of books waiting to be read, I still went to the library and got a stack out just in case I ran out of reading during isolation. I don't know what circumstances I was envisioning, but that's what I did. It's a nice, sunny, beautiful day. I'm going to go out in the garden. I am going to put sun cream on this time so we don't have a repeat of last time when I burnt my arm. I'm going to go out into the garden and do some reading. I really look like I'm off on holiday somewhere. I feel like maybe the hat was overkill, but I'm so worried that I'm going to burn again, so is the hat too much? Maybe the hat's too much. It's watermelon pattern, so I think it's cute. I have now read and completed Hansel and Gretel by Neil Gaiman and Lorenzo Mattotti. That was a really, really quick read and quite just a straightforward retelling of Hansel and Gretel. I was almost expecting to be some kind of like Gaiman twist to it, or something a little bit more, but it was just a straight up retelling of the story. A very good retelling, and it did have some lovely illustrations to it. Really creepy black and white, sketchy kind of illustrations, but it was hard to make out what was happening in those illustrations, and that really fitted the mood of the story and sort of being lost in the woods. This is going to be my History of Magic book. In the story that I was reading, the old woman who lives in the gingerbread house is never expressly called a witch, but at the back of the book there is a little section looking at the history of the story, various retellings, talking about the other retellings of the story and its origins, and that references witches and talks a lot about witches in other cultures such as Baba Yaga and just where that origin of the story comes from. And I've also run it past the prefects on the Discord server for the Magical Readathon, and they've okayed it. And I'm just thinking it through. I think I am going to include it as my History of Magic prompt because there's nothing else I can count it for. It would have been fine for Potions, which is a book under 150 pages, but I've already got that. If I'd read it at night time, which I could very easily have read it for a couple of minutes, because that's all it took at night time, but I didn't. It could have counted for astronomy, but obviously now it can't because I read it in beautiful sunshine outside. It is still a gorgeous day out there, and I really would actually like to be sat out there continuing to read. I did start my herbology book, which is Marina by Carla Ruiz-Zafón. We are studying the Mimbulus Mimbletonia, and so we need a book that starts with the letter M, which this book does. The title starts with the letter M. So there we go. I'm already nearly 50 pages in and liking it so far. This is a bit of a mysterious book. It's about a young boy at boarding school in Barcelona in the 1980s, and for 7 days and nights he goes missing. Nobody knows where he is, nobody knows what's happened to him, and this is him as an adult 15 years later recounting the story of what happened to him during those 7 days. All we know as a reader going into it is that has something to do with this mysterious girl he meets called Marina, and the symbol of a black butterfly that they find on an otherwise unmarked gravestone in a cemetery in Barcelona. We know nothing else. I know nothing else at this point in time, but I think it's sort of young adult, maybe a bit of a horror aspect, otherwise just speculative. Not sure where we're going with this, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now, I've come in from the outside, going to sit and edit my vlog and fill in that I have finished another 2 books on the book tracker that we have as well. It's now nearly 6 o'clock in the evening. I've had to take a break from editing my vlog. It's taken me a little bit longer than I thought it would to edit, but then I did have a bit of a break in the middle. My sister-in-law came round, not into the house, just to drop off a few things that we couldn't get from the shop. She left them at the door and then stood the standard 6 feet apart from us in the garden while we sat on the doorstep and had a little chat with her for a while, so that was nice. But that has cut into my editing time a little bit. Tonight I'm taking part in a virtual pub quiz for the first time. I've never done one. This is a musical theatre themed pub quiz. I'm really looking forward to it. My friends and I are going to participate as a team. We're going to be talking over a video together while it's going on, and I'm going to have a little drink to make it feel more like a proper pub experience. But for now, I need to take my dog for a walk, and I will listen to my audiobook while I'm doing that to keep the readathon going. Thought I'd just show you guys what I'm drinking for the pub quiz. A little shot of Fireball whiskey in my Diet Coke. I like drinking this. It's as close as I think I'll ever get to drinking fire whiskey from Harry Potter. That was so much fun! The quiz is now over and done with. We did not win. In fact, I think we came joint last, probably, but it doesn't matter. It was such good fun. The specialist subject was musical theatre, which I thought that we as a group knew a lot about, and I thought that I would know a lot about, and I do know a lot about musicals, just apparently not any of the musicals they were asking questions on. So that's always interesting. But even so, it was a really good night, and I definitely recommend virtual pub quizzes to anybody else who's stuck in lockdown. It's a really great way to connect with your friends. It was great seeing all of my friends. We were all on video chat. I wasn't able to vlog it, unfortunately, because I was in the web chat on my phone, so I couldn't film and chat at the same time. But even so, it was still really good fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one. you want to say hi, William? There's William. Today is Wednesday and so far it has been a day of studying. I was working on last week's vlog this morning because I didn't get it done last night. Then I was waiting for that to export and upload. It's now done, it's all up and people will be viewing it now hopefully. And I've just been studying for the rest of the day. My eyes are now starting to hurt a little bit from staring at the computer screen and at my notes for so long. So I'm going to go to the kitchen, make a start on dinner, and then clean out the Dagoos and take William for a walk. And throughout all of this, I will be listening to the Goblet of Fire audiobook. I tried, guys. I really tried. I've been sat here trying to motivate myself to get reading and I just can't seem to keep my mind on the page at the moment. I don't know whether it's my fibromyalgia flaring up or whether it's stress or whether I just need to take it easy today. But I'm just absolutely shattered. I'm so exhausted right now and I'm really struggling to concentrate on what I'm reading. Where is my book? I can't even show you what I'm reading. Oh, I was sat on it, that's why. Yeah, I'm reading Marina, and at the point that I'm at in the book, it's just gotten to a point now where we've got a chapter which is looking at the history of Marina's mother and father, how they met and how they came to be living in Barcelona. And I don't really see what relevance that has to the plot at the moment. It probably will do once I get past it, and once I get past it hopefully it will pick up again in terms of pacing, but at the moment with my current tiredness it's just not helping. So I don't really know what to do. I tried watching Booktube but I couldn't keep my mind on that either. It's too early for me to have dinner really because I'm waiting for my mum to get back. She's at a hospital appointment, which is why she's actually not in the house at the moment. I'm waiting for her to get back. I may just sit here and listen to my Harry Potter Goblet of Fire audiobook and then I can read along with it and look at the illustrations while I'm doing that. So then that takes less brain power than reading something new because obviously I've read this countless times and I know it all. So yeah, that's what I will try and do now. Just to demonstrate my point about what I was saying about the illustrated editions having fewer illustrations, then this entire chapter has no illustrations in the whole chapter. And given this is the illustrated edition, that just feels a little bit, I feel a little bit cheated. Hi everyone, it's now Thursday. I can only apologise for the horrendous state I was in last I checked in with you. I was completely exhausted and I was going through all these reasons in my head, trying to think why I was so tired. Was I stressed? Was I ill with my fibromyalgia? What was it? And then I remembered that I stayed up until 2 in the morning editing my last vlog. So really I only have myself to blame for that, for being that tired. And I actually feel like I need to apologise to my body because I never get angry with my body. Whenever I am having a bad pain day or anything like that, I try so hard not to get angry with my body and to just admit that my body is doing the best that it can for me at that moment in time. But I did get angry with myself last night. I was like, I'm sick of feeling like this. I'm so sick of being tired all the time and of my body not working the way I want it to. And it is actually my fault. My poor body was trying its best and it was me who was damaging it. So I am apologising to my body right here and now. I'm sorry, body. It was my fault. Anyway, on with today. So I didn't get that much physical reading done last night, but I did listen to quite a bit of the audiobook of Goblet of Fire. I haven't got the illustrated edition on me, I think that's downstairs, but I'm about 100 and something pages into it. They're now at Hogwarts. They've had the feast and the sorting and all of that. And I think they're just about to announce the Triwizard tournament is taking place. Yes, that's where I'm up to. They're just about to announce that. So I have read quite a bit more, albeit via an audio version. Today is another lovely day outside. I'm going to go for a walk with my dog, but I'm going to be with my mum, so I won't be listening to any audiobooks while I'm walking. And then I have nothing to do until this evening, when I'm going to be web chatting with some of my friends, and we might be playing some online Cards Against Humanity as well. So until then, I have nothing to do but read. It's actually quite good because I did all that revision yesterday. I feel like I'm quite ahead of things, and so I can treat myself to a day of just solid reading and relaxing today. I also now realise that I haven't done any of my bullet journal for the Magical Readathon, so I think I'm just going to sit here, maybe watch some Booktube and get my bullet journal up to date. Hi everyone, welcome to Friday's vlog. I am just waiting for our food delivery to arrive, but while I'm waiting for that, I do have a moment to update you on my thoughts on Marina. I'm now nearly halfway through. I read quite a bit more when I was out in the garden yesterday. And so far I would say that the descriptions in this book are really, really good. It's a really atmospheric book. The author does a great job of building up atmosphere and giving us some fantastic descriptions of the city of Barcelona, and just a way of building up that creepy kind of vibe. That's really good. The pacing is a little bit slower than I personally would like. To begin with, I thought this was just going to be recounting those 7 days in which the main character, Oscar, disappeared, and perhaps the immediate lead up to that event. But instead, we are going into the weeks and months leading up to his disappearance and going more into the depth of his history with Marina, their growing friendship, how they got to know each other. And that in itself is not a problem, but the pacing just seems really off to me, particularly because as this mystery is unfolding, every time we get to a point where a new piece of the puzzle needs to fall into place, instead of the characters, Marina and Oscar, somehow discovering those facts for themselves, another character will then come into the picture who will then explain that part of the mystery to them. And so there we have chapters which are just going into the backstory of this one particular character, or this certain event that happened, or the history of this house and why it's now abandoned, and we just have pages and pages of telling us this information. It is really that old thing of telling and showing, and this book definitely does more telling than it does showing, which I'm not really enjoying. I was still enjoying the book, and I like it when we get to some of the more high action scenes. We've just had one scene in particular which was bordering more towards the true horror side of this book, albeit young adult horror. It's not proper adult horror. But there was one really creepy scene that just happened, and that was brilliant. But then almost straight away, it's like the characters left that scene and went back to their normal lives. And I just think that if that had just happened to me, I would have more to say about it than just, oh, okay, well, that happened, and then going on with their lives. And then now we've got to another part of the mystery being discovered, and again, we're getting a character just telling us a piece of backstory, which is slowing down the pace a lot. But I don't think it will take me that much longer to get through. Hopefully I can get through this by the end of this week. I've got some time over the weekend when I can be reading, and then I can move on to something a little bit different, because although I am enjoying this and I'm glad that I'm reading it, I'm not saying it's necessarily something I would recommend because of that odd pacing. I really hope it picks up and that it can change my opinion of that. It's time for the day goose to have a dust bath. It's now nearly lunchtime. A lot of this video seems to be footage of me sat outside drinking coffee and reading my book outside, which is great. Part of that is because one thing that me and my mum really miss while we're in lockdown is that we can't go out for a coffee. We always used to go out for a coffee, sometimes nearly every day if I was off of uni and she wasn't working. Whenever we had the chance, we'd go out for coffee. And now that we are in lockdown and we can't do that anymore, we still take the time each day to make a highlight of just stopping whatever we're doing and having coffee and cake or biscuits or something. And because the weather has been so lovely lately, we've been doing that outside. So that's become a little tradition that we've been doing. I've also now got my mum sort of unofficially taking part in the OWLS. She's a massive reader just like me, and when she finished her first book this month, I was jokingly like, oh, what prompt can we count it for the OWLS? Because I explained the concept to her, and she really loves it. So now she's working towards it as well. She's got her Charms, OWL, and her Care of Magical Creatures as well, I think. So that's really good fun. I'm going to go get some lunch in a minute and probably carry on listening to my audiobook. I was listening to it just now when I was cleaning out the Dagoos. So they're all nice and fresh now. Still waiting for that food delivery. It could come any time between 10 a.m. this morning and 6 p.m. tonight. So we've just got to wait. I mean, we're not going anywhere. We've got all day. I've just been struck by this random wave of really, really missing being on placement. I mean, I know it's not like a lot of people don't talk about really enjoying their job, but the thing is, I really enjoy and love what I'm doing. I love training to be a midwife. I love working placement. I love being on the ward. I love even working the long hours. I love all of it. And now that I'm not doing it at the moment, it really is getting to me. I was just thinking about how about now I would have been finishing up my placement on the gynae ward, and I would have been getting ready to go back onto the postnatal ward next week, and now obviously that's not happening, and I don't know when it is going to happen, when I'm going to get back there again. And I don't know, I'm just really missing it. I'm missing the midwife, I was missing working in the hospital. Hopefully one day soon I'll get back there, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to go outside, do something to distract myself, go outside, read my book, talk to my mum, and just hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit brighter again in a minute. I just remembered in the shopping delivery that we've got coming, we have got Cadbury's mini eggs included in that shopping, and now I'm really excited for the shopping, and I just keep thinking that I hear a van and I'm like going to look because I really want to break into those mini eggs as soon as they get here. Me and my mum have just finished our third puzzle since being in lockdown, and there was a piece missing. The last piece of the puzzle is missing, and we have no idea where it is. I'm not best pleased at the moment, and that noise you can hear is William. My white t-shirt is no longer clean and white because William's been jumping up for cuddles. We went for a walk just now, me and William. I'm going to insert some clips there because people have been doing some really lovely things to try and make lockdown a bit nicer for people. Somebody had got free food outside of their house. People have been giving away free books, although I got there too late and there were no books left by the time I got there. If I'd have known, I would have been there sooner. It's just some really great things going on out there, trying to make the world a little bit of a brighter place. Book-wise, I'm now nearly 200 pages through Marina, and if I can get there by the end of today, I'll be very pleased, because then I'll only have 100 pages left to read, and that seems really achievable in only a couple of days. So I could have that done by the end of the weekend, and then move on to something else. Look everyone, it's a bang-ended scoot! Hi guys, congratulations, we made it to another weekend. It's now Saturday. I don't know why I'm celebrating that, because every day feels like a weekend day at the moment. I'm not working or leaving the house or anything. Next week I really do need to make more of an effort to start revising again, and also I have another manuscript to proofread, so I need to make some headway on that. In terms of reading, I am still at the same point in Marina as I was when I last checked in with you guys, I believe. I didn't do much more reading last night, or any physical reading. Listened to quite a bit more of my audiobook, and I got myself caught up on the illustrated edition. I am now up to page... Hang on, let me check what page I'm up to. Now up to page 152, and I'm just going to show you the cute little drawing that's here. That's such an adorable little illustration, just a little house elf cleaning the suit of armour. Now it's nearly time for me and my mum to go and have that all-important cup of coffee. We're going to sit in the garden again because it's still really nice weather. Today's meant to be the hottest day so far, about 24 degrees, so I'll make sure I've got all my sun cream on and I'm wearing my hat and my sunglasses and everything. finally getting somewhere with the plot of Marina. We've had a couple more quite high action scenes, a bit more of that horror element coming in, and we've also had a few more plot reveals. Unfortunately, most of the plot reveals have been made by that sort of monologue-y writing device that I described earlier on, where it's just they'll meet a new character and that character will then reveal a key piece of the plot by just talking and talking for pages and pages and pages. And it just keeps happening so frequently. It's almost like every other chapter at this point is one of the characters just monologuing and telling us some new reveal, some new plot device that's come in. And it's just really, that's really starting to irritate me now. I'm actually quite glad that I'm close to the end, because then I can move on to something completely different. I'm at page 239. This is a 300-page book, or nearly 300 pages. So I've got less than 70 pages left to read before the end. I was hoping to finish it tonight, but I don't know if I will, either tonight or early tomorrow morning. I was just sat outside in the sunshine, drinking a beer and reading my book. I felt like I was channeling my inner Emma from Drinking by My Shelf. If you haven't checked out Emma's channel yet, make sure you do. She's amazing. I'll leave a link down below. She just did a 24-hour readathon with her sister. Oh, William's barking at something. Yeah, she just did a 24-hour readathon with her sister, and that was really good fun to watch. So I'll make sure I leave a link to that down below. For the rest of the evening, I've got to go take William for a walk. I've already cooked dinner and put it in the slow cooker, so I don't need to do too much for dinner. My mum's taking care of dessert, and I really want to watch Britain's Got Talent because that starts tonight. I've got a bag of Cadbury's mini eggs that I'm going to be eating. I don't know what William's barking at out there. I don't know if you can hear him as loudly as I can. He just tends to bark when there's like a bird or an animal or a blade of grass that he doesn't like the look of in the garden. That's what he's doing at the moment. Yeah. So I'm gonna relax tonight, watch Britain's Got Talent and eat my mini eggs, and that will be my Happy Saturday Easter night. Everybody. I know it's not going to be Easter by the time you're watching this video, but I still wanted to check in and say that I hope you guys had a lovely day. If you're celebrating, I hope you managed to do so safely and happily. If you're not celebrating, maybe you just use this as a chance to eat chocolate. And if you couldn't spend today with your loved ones and that was really difficult for you, then I just want to say that I know that sucks. And just try to remember that all of this is only temporary, and there will come a time when you can be with your loved ones again. You can celebrate and roll all of the missed celebrations into one thing. You're doing the right thing by staying inside and not becoming part of the problem. Okay, so to bring this back onto an upbeat, so far today, my mum surprised me when she woke me up this morning with an Easter treasure hunt. Even though I'm 28 years old, I still loved it. It was all around the house and the garden. It was brilliant. And there was loads of chocolate for me to find and little clues leading me to each one. My dog was trying to help me. And by help, I do mostly mean hinder. But he, at one point, my mum had put a bag of sweets in a tree, and he'd seen her do it earlier on this morning when I was still in bed. And so then when I got to the tree, and I was looking around all around the base of the tree and looking in the roots and looking under stones and things, and he was stood there looking up into the tree, and he knew exactly where it was. And I didn't pay that much attention to him the first time he did it, but then there was another clue later on, which was also up high somewhere in the garden, and I could see where he was looking, so I just went straight to it. So he did help me. He's a very intelligent dog, even if he does act like a complete doofus at certain times. I've already eaten my little tub of mini eggs. I've got some more mini eggs. This was just a little tub that was hidden under the treasure hunt. Already eaten it. But you know what? There are 2 times in a year that you can eat chocolate for breakfast. One is at Christmas, one is at Easter. And also maybe possibly on your birthday. If chocolate's your thing on your birthday, that's fine. Your birthday, you can do whatever you want. At the end of the treasure hunt, there was an Easter egg and there was loads of other chocolate and sweets and everything. But at the end of the treasure hunt, there was a book waiting for me. This is The Memory Wood by Sam Lloyd. My mum got me this one because it was in Tesco in the supermarket just before all the supermarkets closed down. And we've both been looking at it and thinking, well, it looked like a really good book. And I'm so excited to finally have it. I don't know if I'm going to get around to reading it this month, what with the owls and everything, but I am very, very excited. And this is going to go really high up on my list to read, possibly as soon as the owls are over and done with, if I don't get to it this month. I don't read a lot of crime and a lot of thrillers, but when I do, I have very specific tastes. I really like Room by Emma Donoghue, which is a kind of a thrillerish. I think I classify that as kind of a thriller, like the whole trapped in a room trying to get out, that side of it. I really like The Lovely Bones, and I'm trying to think what other books I can describe, but I always like them to be sort of quite a weird element to them, usually about children. And I'm not a big fan of like detective, police procedural fiction and crime, that sort of thing, but this sounds like just my sort of thing. It's about a boy whose name is Elijah, and he has lived all his life in the Memory Wood, and then one day he meets this girl called Alyssa, who also lives in the Memory Wood, but she's only just arrived and she is trying desperately to escape from the Memory Wood, and she is not the first girl that Elijah has met in the wood. And so I don't know if there's some sort of like serial abduction going on and Alyssa has been kidnapped and is being held captive in the wood. I don't know. I want to go into this pretty blind and just see where it unfolds from there. But it's about Elijah. This is his first true friend that he's made. He doesn't want her to leave the wood. She desperately will do anything to leave the wood. And I think that her captor is becoming more and more erratic as well. So lots of tension there. It probably won't take me that long to read. But anyway, goals for today. I need to finish Marina. It needs to happen today. I can't spend any more time on this book. It's not that I'm hating it. The things that are irritating me about this book are irritating me more and more as I go along. And I would just be glad to be finished with it and onto something else. And also I do want to know what the mystery is at the end of this book. I want to find out what it's all about. It's now 6:30 in the evening, and do you know what I've read since I last updated you guys? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not a single page. Nothing at all. I sat in the garden with my mum and had lunch, and we were trying to do the Times pub trivia quiz. They got this trivia quiz in there. We failed miserably at that. Even the literature rounds we just did horrendously at. But yeah, I didn't read a single page of my book then. Had lunch with her. Then I have eaten some chocolate, eaten some sweets, and I laid on my bed and spoke to a load of my friends online and played online Cards Against Humanity with them for about 3 hours. That's all I've done today. So now it is 6:30, like I said, and I need to go out of the house because my eyes are starting to get tired and my dog really needs a walk. And it looks like we're going to have a thunderstorm any second. So I need to get out before it starts pouring down with rain. We can hear the thunder rumbling around out there, but hopefully I'll be able to go for a walk and get back before it actually properly starts. So you know yesterday when I told you all that I had to finish Marina and I just had to get that done and I wasn't going to accept any excuses, that needed to be finished. Turns out I lied to all of you because I did not read a single page of Marina yesterday. I just spent the morning with my mum, the afternoon on video chat with my friends, and then I watched TV in the evening and I read nothing, not a single page. I listened to a little bit of my audiobook for Goblet of Fire when I was out for a walk, but other than that, absolutely nothing. But you know what? We all have days like that. We all need days where we just do nothing productive. I've had a lot of days like that recently, but at least I've been reading. Today I need to actually finish Marina and make that a priority. And then I need to do some revision notes because I feel like I've been falling way far behind on my revision for university and I have got exams coming up. So I'm going to do some revision notes, read my book and let you guys know how all of that goes. I've just spent some time making these little revision aids. My friend gave me the idea for this and another friend posted the little paper dollies to me because I can't get out to the shops. So I've made one of these for each of my emergencies, so I will do. So far I've got one for sepsis, called prolapse, antepartum hemorrhage, postpartum hemorrhage, and then on the back all of the treatment of how we would deal with that emergency. I still need to make them for shoulder dystocia, eclampsia, and a few others, but I'm making a head start and it feels good to be doing something productive. Hey guys, it's now Tuesday. When I woke up this morning, I had this thought going through my head that I really, really needed to update you guys on something, and I couldn't remember what. And then suddenly it dawned on me. Last night, I finally finished Marina. I mean, I know it only took me less than a week to read, but that really was starting to feel like a weight around my neck, and I'm so glad to actually finally be finished with it. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. If anything, I'm being over generous with that. I was hovering more around like a 2.5 stars. The only thing that pulled it back up to a 3 was the descriptive writing and the atmosphere it managed to create. The rest of it I found to be very slow paced. I really wasn't enjoying the pacing at all. As I explained to you before, the device of having characters just explain the mystery in a massive monologue that went on for pages and pages and chapters, I didn't enjoy that at all. Also, just it wasn't the book that I thought it was going to be. Reading the back cover and the synopsis of the book, I just assumed that it was going to be about those few days when Oscar went missing, but it wasn't at all. It was very much about the time leading up to that disappearance, and that disappearance was only a very, very, very small part of the book right at the end. And I can't say that I really cared for it, and I didn't care for the ending either. That just completely changed the tone of the entire book, took away all the horror aspects, the mystery, the thriller, all of that just went out the window. So in the end, I ended up giving it only 3 out of 5 stars, and that was generous. I am thinking I'm going to end today's vlog about here. Right now I have an online lecture that I need to be a part of, and I need to turn on my video and audio for that, so I'll have to let you guys go in a minute. And then that is actually the end of my official OWLS TBR in terms of what I needed to read for my chosen career path other than my audiobook. So you'll have to wait until the next vlog to see what I'm going to be reading next. I'll leave that as a surprise for you. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, and let me know what you are reading for the OWLS, what career you're going for, and what OWL you're studying for at the moment. I can't wait to hear from you guys again soon. Bye!